The darkest souls are not those which choose to exist within the hell of the abyss, but those which choose to move silently among us. Here's a look at the brand new Trick or Treat Studios Rob Zombie Halloween, the 1/6 scale Michael Myers. Trick or Treat Studios is proud to present the officially licensed Halloween 2007 Michael Myers 1/6 scale figure. This posable figure stands approximately 13 inches tall and features 30 points of articulation, includes 5 additional hands, butcher knife, and Judith Myers tombstone. Arrives in a beautiful collector's box with a flip-back window display. Add Rob Zombie's vision of Michael Myers to your collection now. His eyes will deceive you. They will destroy you. They will take from you your innocence, your pride, and eventually your soul. Before we get a closer look at the brand new Trick or Treat Studios Halloween 2007 Michael Myers, let me just back it up a bit and first thank the folks over at Tots that were kind enough to provide the sample we could have a look at. Hey, good news, everybody. Michael Myers has been unleashed. He's roaming the streets, at least over on their site. He's available right now for $169.99. You can also go as well the route of 4 interest-free installments starting at around $15.34. Let's get going with the measurements here of the figure. The figure is going to be pretty tall. Michael Myers, in fact, if I'm looking at this correctly, stands at about 12.5 inches, maybe even a little higher than that, translating, though, to a figure that's about 32 centimeters tall. Are you a giant? He must be when you start to compare with the likes of the Nick Castle Michael Myers from the 1978 film. Size of Myers stays about the same even 40 years later. Booked in on both sides, this 1978 and of course the 2018. Nowhere near, though, the size of Maine in the middle. Here's also what the figures look like with the Dear Dr. Loomis, also released by Trick or Treat Studios. If we are getting a Rob Zombie Michael Myers, would be safe to say that maybe down the road we might get the Dear Dr. Malcolm McDowell's take on Dr. Loomis. Oh, let's hope. I'm also going to bring in here Leatherface. Now, this may seem strange of a comparisons, more for the fact that not only is taller than the Michael Myers all around him, but like the Michael Myers that we're about to have a look at, he's a lot bigger, bulkier, and he weighs a lot more too. Myers has come home, but he hasn't come alone. The figure, first of all, does come included with the Myers tombstone. You know, for a family barely getting by, I'm not sure how they could scratch together the coins in order to afford such an elaborate tombstone like this. And yet, though, one thing I like and I have to commend Tots for is that they included this as part of this Michael Myers and not sold it separately as part of an accessory pack. It's also surprisingly heavy, too. It's all made of quite solid plastic. It's got the Michael Myers scratch along the top here and some flower foliage down below on the bottom of the base. Mostly it's cast here in that gray plastic, but you can see suggestedly and so subtly they've added a little bit of kind of a greenish brown to it, just to add a little bit of dirt and grime to it. It stands well. To compare it, though, along with the 1978 Judith Myers tombstone, which had a little harder of a time to stand just because it didn't have a bottom base to it. Just to show you guys the differences to them, they scale well enough. I mean, obviously, if you want to have one with the 78 film, which I already have right now, and have the other one displayed behind this version of Michael Myers. Nice looking tombstones. And again, this one was part of an accessory pack that was sold separately. This one is part already of this figure release, and the figure, again, is selling for $169. I can't believe that. On to now the hands that come included with Michael Myers. Now, on the ends of his forearms right now, he does have some mauling hands. Michael's all about mauling people throughout the course of this movie and the follow-up sequel. But he does also have closed fists, too. I want to draw your attention, first of all, to the amount of work that went into just the hands alone. Got some veinage added in there. I do actually like that they've made the hands almost like grimy and dirty on their own. They have like a bit of a sheen to them, too, so it sort of gives the idea that Michael Myers is sweaty. Man's been quite busy during Halloween nights. The figure does also come included with a gripping hand suitable for holding the butcher knife, which is just down there. I'm going to swap those hands out in a second. One thing I did want to bring to your attention, though, is these hands. Now, these are a pair of relaxed hands. I want to bring in now the 1978 hands from Michael Myers just to see how far we've come when it comes to the sculpting. Not that there was anything really wrong with the original hands from the Nick Castle release of it, but just to see how far we've come now with the new releases of Michael Myers and what Trick or Treat is doing so well now. Look at these hands. Now, this hand, obviously, I still have the peg on that. I'm just going to go put it back into the forearms of Michael Myers, but I did certainly want to show you guys, though, how much more sculpting went into the newer hands. These hands, too, seem a lot softer in plastic. These hands were still like that, but I find like these are so much easier to change out, which I'll show you guys in a second. The figure does also come included with his butcher knife. Now, again, to see where we've seen, where we've come for progress, at least, some of the original knives or some of the Michael Myers releases had problems where the blades were breaking. I just want to kind of show you this here for a second. They seem to have softened up the material considerably for now the new butcher knives, so the chance of breakage is not going to happen at all. As you can see, though, it's not sharp at all on the edge of the blade. No blood, unfortunately. Maybe they could have maybe released 2 versions of the butcher knife with Michael Myers, a bloody knife, a regular knife, if you so wish. But you then can take, of course, the gripping hand and easily fit the knife into his hand, and just, yeah, you can either have it displayed that way, or you can invert the knife and have it flipped around the other way. This whole talk, of course, of talking about hands, the figure does, like I said, already have these mauling hands straight out of the packaging. So right away, he's already good to pose. To change out the hands, though, super easy. Just going to go ahead and you can, I mean, hopefully you can see just how easy this is to remove the hands. That took no work at all. Take the hand that you want to then use, plug it in place, and Michael Myers is good for slaying. There you go. Boy, this figure is looking sharp already. I'm not just saying that either because of the knife either. Let's just take the knife. We'll put it out of the way. You know what we'll also do? We'll take the tombstone. We want to focus our full attention on Michael Myers here. Not only is he a bigger figure, but he's also quite a lot heavier, too, from the other Michael Myers we've gotten from Tots before. Now, the figure itself, like getting him out of the packaging, like the weight of the body. To note, though, it seems like they are using a brand new body for Michael Myers here. Much larger limbs there, too. And, I mean, let's talk a little bit about the head sculpt. Full disclosure, though, while not being a big fan of the Rob Zombie film, I wasn't a big fan of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 either. I will say, though, this Michael Myers looks fantastic. The sculpting of the hair, the sculpting of the cracks. Not to mention, though, while he does have eyes, the eyes seem a little more sunken back. So it really gives you that dark, like lifeless look on his face. I love the way they've given the cracks on the front of his face. Now, I don't know, down the road, we may get ourselves the partially cracked where some of his face is fully visible. Maybe down the road as well, we might even get ourselves a hobo Michael Myers. But let's not rush things along just yet. I just want to show you guys, though, how good this head sculpt looks like. Even though, again, it pains me to say this just because I don't like Rob Zombies as much as the original classics, I will say this probably is one of the best head sculpts we've gotten from a Michael Myers to date. I love the way, again, they've sculpted the hair. Not sure if hopefully the camera's able to even pick this up, but you can see like there's a little bit of almost even dust that's settled. Keep in mind as well, Michael Myers had to retrieve this mask later on in his adult years. So of course the Michael Myers, the latex mask itself would have had some age to it, would have had some decay, but also even like the hair itself would have developed dust and dirt and everything else that would have been underneath the floorboards. Of course, he's also wearing as well the new coveralls. Now, the coveralls, I would imagine, have been done talentedly by Tanila once again. The coveralls is a different departure, obviously. It's one of the things that Rob Zombie did pull from his unique spin on the Halloween franchise. The coveralls, instead of being like the more traditional spruce green or the gray or even the blue, goes now more the route of kind of this tan color. It's got some patches sewn on the side there. Of course, it's got the patch there featured on the front. Out of the packaging, the zipper is zipped all the way up. Now, if you don't like that look, Michael Myers, I think in the film, even has the collar a little bit more relaxed. The zipper is functional. It's a little harder just because his body is so tight against it. But you can open it up as well if you want. And underneath the coveralls is actually a t-shirt. Let me just unzip this down just a little bit. I'm not going to do it all the way just because with the zipper being small like this, it's harder than to zip it back in place. But underneath that, though, is an actual t-shirt. So if you want to have a little bit more slack and relaxation, a little relaxation there in the collar, you can do that just by unzipping this just a little bit. The zipper also is small enough too that it doesn't occupy too much of the space. It's 1-to-1 scale too with the coveralls, and I really think, like speaking of some of the work that Tots is improving when it comes to these figures, Tanella, this might be one of the better works that she's done, certainly when it comes to the tailoring of the costumes. The costume also does feel like, material-wise, it's got like a coarseness to it. It almost does feel like there's something that's settled to the material, like blood or dirt, because it does feel like there's a little bit of coarseness to some of the material, in some of the areas of it, like his elbows, some of the front of his chest as well. You can probably see as well there's a little bit of like kind of dirtiness that's just settled on it. These aren't a pair of clean coveralls. These coveralls probably quite stink as well. It doesn't have any pockets there. I mean, like the pockets are kind of there, but they're more suggested than anything else. Not that Michaels would really be storing anything away in them anyways. Down below, of course, we got ourselves these snaps. That's also something that carries now to Michael Myers from the Rob Zombie film, that he has now these snaps on the sides. And again, very realistic. He's got the pockets on the back. He's got the pockets back here too. I don't think there's at all a detail that was overlooked. If we were to kind of roll up the pants, you can kind of probably also see as well he's got himself the boots. Now, the boots are accurate to the way they looked in the film, though we don't really get a chance to see it much often. He's also got some really nice sculpting on the bottom treads of his boots. The one thing, though, about the boots, though, is that they seem pretty clean. There's no dirt. There's nothing like mud or anything caked on the bottoms of them. I would have liked to have seen a little bit of that, but for how good this figure is executed with everything else from head to toe, one of the best figures we've gotten from Trick or Treat Studios to date. Now for the articulation, we're obviously going to go back to the head sculpt here. The head's going to be on a ball joint, yeah, so yeah, rotates all the way around. You can move the head down, but because, of course, the length of the mask, you're not going to be able to get as much mileage there. The head's going to move up and down. It's going to move back and forth this way as well. The upper torso is going to have a ball joint. The lower abdomen now seems also to have a ball joint. The arms can so easily come out. I would have actually thought with the way that the material was done that it would have made things a little bit more restricted. More here and more here. But it does seem, though, like there's no issues at all moving the arms around. You can get a T-pose for Michael Myers. You can take, of course, the arms, move them forward, move them back. He's got not a swivel necessarily here to the bicep, but he certainly does have a swivel here in the elbow. The figure seems to only just have a single hinge in the elbow, which, I mean, again, like, what more can you really get? I wouldn't necessarily need to have a double hinge elbow going for Michael anyways, because, like, if only he really needs to bring his arm up like this just to bring down the blade, that's all I really need for the figure. The hands, of course, rotate all the way around. You can hinge them back and forth. For his legs, they split out about that far. You can take the legs and move them forward. You can move them back. There's a swivel there at the top of the thigh. There is a hinge on the knee. It seems to be also a double hinge on the knee, but it was really tight on this figure getting them out of the packaging. For the boots themselves, they move up and down. A little rock back and forth there as well. But again, like he has everything that you need. And, you know, speaking of things that he needs, Michael Myers, getting him out of the box, you know, the fact that he has already the Michael Myers tombstone, the Myers tombstone, when really before, the accessory pack that was sold separately was the way that we got the original 1978 Judith Myers tombstone. The fact that this gets packed with a figure, the fact that he gets as many hands that he does, and also a butcher knife, $169 figure, that's not bad at all. Just to bring back in the 1978 Michael Myers, we can grab back the hand, put it back into the forearms, because Michael Myers obviously needs both hands to do his job. You know, again, like, I've already been really fully invested with what Trick or Treat Studios have been doing with the Michael Myers franchise, Halloween franchise for that matter. Why are we having such a hard time getting the hands in play? There we go. There we go. I've been so invested. The moment that they first announced the 1978 film, like, I was already fully invested in collecting anything and everything that they were able to do for the Halloween franchise. To see what we've gotten for the first release, which was already a great looking Michael Myers. Now we add the additional weight, the additional bulk, brand new tooled bodies, like meticulously sculpted head sculpt, and now thrown in accessories that weren't already considered before when we got the first runs of these figures. $169 is one of the best deals around going for a Michael Myers. Even though, again, this is, speaking as a guy behind the camera that is not a love fan at all of the Rob Zombie films, I would rather have taken, like, every annual watch of Halloween's, I tend to usually go through just the classics, the originals, and I tend not to go through the Rob Zombies unless it's that's year. I just want to watch everything that Halloween has ever been for, like, all the films. And if I have the chance, obviously I'll just watch all those Halloweens. Then I usually throw in there the Rob Zombie films. I'm not a big fan of Rob Zombies, but I was a fan, though, of the way that Michael Myers was designed in the film. And I will say very faithfully, Trick or Treat Studios has taken what was pulled from the screen and have given us a perfect-looking rendition of him. He's taller. Obviously, he would have to be taller. Mane was considerably taller than all the other actors that played Michael Myers in the previous films. This is a true service to the Michael Myers movie. Even if you aren't a big fan of Rob Zombie's take on Michael, or, again, the Halloween franchise and Laurie Strode, you have to agree, though, it is probably one of the best Michael Myers that we've gotten to date from Trick or Treat Studios, and it's available right now over on their site. I was about to say Big Joe Grizzly probably wasn't too keen that Michael Myers is currently wearing his clothing, but then I think about it, Big Joe Grizzly probably ain't breathing anymore. Speaking of Big Joe Grizzly, though, one thing that's ever apparent of Michael Myers as he's currently rotating on the rotisserie, I've got the figure displayed right now with the Myers tombstone, the butcher knife in his hand. It's rather clean-looking Michael Myers, now that you really start to look at it. I think it was smart probably of Trick or Treat Studios to release this guy. If there was only to be one release of him, probably going the cleaner route would have appealed to more collectors. Yeah, he gets pretty busy throughout the course of the movie, and both the coveralls, his mask, his hands, everything gets pretty covered in blood. I think if they were to release a bloody version of Michael out the gate, that may have maybe alienated collectors that maybe just would have wanted a cleaner look of Michael. Maybe, though, if they want to get a little bit more mileage out of this particular mold, I would certainly be down. I don't know about you guys, about them releasing a bloodied version of Michael, keeping most of pretty much all the same stuff intact, or what they might just end up doing, we might get a bloodied version of Michael Myers where his mask is partially ripped off. What do you guys, though, think of this figure? Let me know down below in the comment section. One of the better Michaels, one of the best Michaels we've gotten from Tots. Let me know what you guys think of this down below. Also, you know what? Let me know what you guys think of the Rob Zombie film. Like it? Hate it? How do you feel about it? Let me know. I also like to, of course, thank the folks over at Trick or Treat Studios that were kind enough to provide this sample of the brand new Halloween 2007 Michael Myers 1/6 scale figure that we had the chance to have a look at this review. Again, as already mentioned, this figure is already on their site for $169.99. You can, again, go the 4 interest-free installments starting at around $15 a month. Also, as well, if you guys wanted to use a coupon code, I think, as far as I know, the coupon code of SPOT is still in effect. That'll save you a little bit of money when it goes to the checkout. If you guys did enjoy this video, you can do it a solid and throw it a like. You guys want to stick around for more so? I hope so. Even though we are wrapping up things right now for Zombie, we'll tell you, though, we will be looking at another release from Trick or Treat Studios this week. What? Yes. So make sure you're coming back. As always, guys, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.